There is the sea on the east side of the country, opposite side to Bath. The main issue with using a GoPro is the shaky footage, so I decided to fix that by getting a gimbal. The issue is this gimbal is in Romford in London and I'm in Bath. Crazy journey across the country, 171 miles, 4 hours without charging. What could go wrong? Some essentials for any long EV journey, especially in a Leaf. Sleeping stuff in case you get tired, vlogging stuff, penny board in case you get bored, chargers, and lots of blankets and coats. And also some food. Right, time to head off on this crazy Leaf trip. The time now is 10:55. It's 8 degrees outside, hence the gloves. The reason I'm heading off so late is actually to reduce the time it's going to take tomorrow stuck in traffic near London. First leg is from Bath to Membry East. It's about 45 miles or 72 kilometres. Right then, off to Membry. Quick update, we're now in box, it's 3 degrees, windscreen is fogging up like crazy because it's so cold outside and I'm obviously breathing too much. Efficiency is a good start, 184 watt hours per kilometre. So this one's new. I've now got simultaneous fogging on the inside and outside of the windscreen. Membry services east, so yeah, gonna charge up here and head off. Probably gonna take a while because I'm using a 22 kilowatt post. Right, it's coming up for 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably time to head off on to Green Park, where Ecotricity have a charger there. Green Park. There is the Ecotricity turbine. The time is 8:01. Still at the Ecotricity turbine. I could have had a good nap. Since they should be producing a fair amount of power, so certainly a lot more than the Leaf uses. 2 megawatt turbine, just over 1,000 homes worth of power apparently. Oh, so it's either broken or it's just not producing any power. Leaf is still charging. I thought I'd give it a few minutes of skateboarding practice. Hopefully this will be the last time this footage is so shaky. Pretty sure I'm not doing this properly. This is all just based on your experiences on the skateboard. Aha! There's another Leaf! Hi there! Yeah, I'm just heading off actually.
What sort of range do you get in yours?
This is Gen 1, especially with the heater.
Yeah.
70 miles if I'm lucky. I'm actually going from Bath over to Southend today.
Oh, right, okay.
And back.
What, in this?
Yeah. I set off at like 10 last night and I just camped out here because I might as well charge here, because the issue is I want to avoid the London traffic, so I need to be in nice and early.
Yeah.
Nice Leaf. Is it 30? Is it 24?
Yes, it's 30 kilowatt.
30, yeah, nice. So whenever that light's on, the noise only comes on when it's sort of 18 miles an hour or below.
Okay.
But anything above that, it'll just turn off anyway. But no, you can turn it off and sneak up on people. Anyway, right, I'll head off.
Okay.
Oh, nice talking to another Leaf driver already. See on the screen here, we've got point 1 and our destination there are both IKEAs, but they only open at 11. So my plan is to go to point 2, which is a Sainsbury's with some pod point chargers, top up there, and then head on. Time to head off and let him charge. Right, so heading on to the M4 soon. We've got 17 kilowatt hours from Ecotricity's wind turbine, so that's all good. Heading on to Sainsbury's via IKEA in case they're open earlier than they mentioned. So back down to 3 degrees again. Fairly heavy fog, so yeah, not the best conditions, but we're still averaging 160 watt hours per kilometre, so doesn't matter too much. Pretty strange with the sun bursting through the fog, whether to have sunglasses on or not. One minute there's glare, one minute it's too dark. To avoid the London traffic clearly hasn't worked. Right, so here at IKEA, it's only 9:53, but they seem to be open. 9.1 kilowatt hours left. We averaged 137.5 watt hours per kilometre, so pretty good. Got my laptop pulling the dash cam and other footage off, but I can actually link this up through a 240 volt inverter from the Leaf battery, charge up my laptop, so I can use my laptop in the car, which is quite useful. Shouldn't be here too much longer, and then we'll head off to IKEA in Thurrock. Let's see if we can get it up. Yep. Surely it can't be difficult to put these charge connectors back properly. People manage it with petrol pumps. Maybe they'll learn when this is all really expensive.
I read somewhere that if Tesla were to fulfill all their orders, the entire world availability of lithium would be gone.
That's a complete lie.
Is it?
The batteries are approximately 2% lithium, and lithium is, I think it's the 3rd most common element on the planet.
Is it?
And it's not even mined. They essentially boil off water from dried up lake beds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lithium in that. So it's a bit like the way they refine seawater to get drinking water. They sort of just evaporate off the water. Yeah, essentially it's lithium salts, that's how they get it, So yeah, it's a complete myth.
Okay.
We'll run out of steel and aluminium and all the other things far before we run out of lithium.
Oh, okay.
Time for breakfast. Porridge. Yum yum. And another Leaf driver who's never used the Ecotricity points before. All fun and games, eh? I've been here far too long, helping a guy with his Leaf get charging. Talking to the guy with the BYD vehicle. Got the footage off the camera, so right, time to head off to IKEA Thurrock. We've got 15.7 kilowatt hours, so that's a 82% charge. Time to head off. IKEA Thurrock. Roads are probably quiet for London, but medium probably traffic-wise, and progress is good. Although if I keep talking to so many Leaf drivers, it's going to increase the journey time considerably. Look, there's someone in the way. At IKEA Thurrock, it's pretty much bang on 12 o'clock, so time to start charging. We managed 149.9 watt hours per kilometre, 7.4 kilowatt hours left, so yeah, pretty good really. Oh, look, there's another Leaf driver.
When I explain to people about electric vehicles and the Goldilocks zone, that when you live a certain distance from where your maximum commute is and you get maximum fuel saving within the range of the car, that is when you're going to get complete benefit from having the electric vehicle over a fuel vehicle. My Goldilocks zone is 70 miles roughly, give or take a few miles.
Yeah.
And it's only 33 miles to work and back, so a combination of obviously 66 miles combined journey. And I'm never going to run out of fuel. I'm never going to rely on these free chargers or rapid charge points. And per month, by doing that, it would have cost me 250 to 300 a month in fuel. But now, using that maximum fuel saving that my Leaf will do, yeah, it's costing me anything between £50 or £100 a month in electricity. So I'm saving £150 a month fuel costs or commute costs. Yeah, it's brilliant. But then the time that we've spent here, and you get literally in half an hour at least 2 or 3 inquisitive people, what are you doing? And you can see the penny drop sometimes. You can literally, but you save how much money? It does what miles? And then...
Yeah, so like my journey today, I've come from Bath over to Southend in Essex, Southend-on-Sea, back to Bath, hopefully at some point later today. It's cost me nothing so far. If the trip goes well, it's going to cost me nothing at all. Yeah. You know, maybe a £6 on the motorway on the way back, but you know, it's.
And if you're not bothered about time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it does take a bit longer, but the whole point with these vehicles is that you're not using them on day-to-day basis, long distance, but you can use them long distance, and that's where the benefit comes in. You're saving money all the time normally, and if you do have to do a long journey, actually most times it works out cheaper, because the journey today that I'm doing, 340 miles. Probably cost about £48 in electricity rapid charges. You know, no way you could do that on any sort of conventional vehicle.
That's 1,111 miles. It cost us 2 paid charges, £12 to do 1,100. So
I was driving up to Cheltenham over the summer, and I managed, I think it works out about 3,000 miles each way's worth of driving over that period, and it cost me entirely. It's a very expensive electricity rate at home, charging each night pretty much completely, and it cost me 140 quid to do nearly 3,000 miles.
That is so good, isn't it? So when I got back from my journey, that cost me £12, I went online and done if you was paying for fuel, £12 to do that amount of miles. I think the equivalent miles per gallon was about 5,000 miles per gallon, or 5,500. So it's absolutely. So when people brag about, oh, I do 70 miles per gallon now, or even if they was to say to me, I do 100 miles per gallon now, them kind of numbers mean nothing.
So if you multiply that figure that you get, so say 5 miles per kilowatt hour by 45, that will give you your miles per gallon equivalent. 5 times 45, call it 50. 5 times 50. Yeah. 200 plus miles per gallon is a very common figure.
Yeah, no, it is indeed.
This is where the whole Tesla system comes in. You know, they'll do it on the car end, so you don't have these boxes with buttons and screens and apps and Wi-Fi issues and network problems and connectors being left on the floor.
For somebody that hasn't got an Android phone, that's not quite tech savvy, that have been convinced by these car dealers that it's a way forward, just plug it in, press a button, it's simple. But then when they start making it even more confusing, the older generations or even people that are not quite tech savvy are going to be frightened by it. So that's why they need to simplify it.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
All the best. Take care.
Right. So I was talking to Steve there for far too long. I arrived here at 12. It's now 2. 16 kilowatt hours in the battery, so plenty enough to get there and back to Southend. So here in Southend, almost on the seafront actually. So hopefully I'll get this gimbal and make it back before lots of IKEA shut. Hopefully next time you see the Leaf, the footage is not going to be too shaky. There is the sea on the east side of the country, opposite side to Bath. Oh well, as long as the gimbal's good, it's all worth it. There we go. That's better. Yeah, seems good. Here it is. Yeah, GoPro out. It's quite a nice unit. Weighty enough in the hand. No wires hanging everywhere, so it's quite a nice tidy design. Batteries go up there. It's basically like a torch with some motors on the top. There we go. So that should now be a lot more stable. Now I can walk along. Chances are you won't get motion sickness. This should also be quite good for cycling or running or that sort of thing. Any sort of activity when you're moving around a lot. Should make it a reasonably enjoyable viewing experience now. Gimbal, had a quick go with it, all looks good, so back to IKEA and Thurrock on the journey back to Bath. Back at IKEA at 4:43, ready to charge. Hopefully they won't kick me out at 5 because there's someone else already charging in their red Leaf. So this should be good. And then from now on, we're probably going to be stuck with non-IKEA chargers. So the time now is 5:41. Just been planning my route back, having some food. At IKEA in Thurrock again. So I am planning to stop for a quick top-up charge at a pod point post here, and hopefully won't need to stop at Heston, which is number 2, and we'll be charging a CYC here, mainly because I could just go straight to Heston, but that means I'd pay an extra £6 because it'll be jumping a very small hop to the next charger. If I stopped at Heston, it would be £6 at Heston, £6 in Cheveley, £6 in Membry, so £18. Whereas if I do it this way, I can top up slightly at the Sainsbury's pod point, which is at point 1 there, enough to get to the CYC, which is only £4, and then I can just do one hop to Membry, skip out Cheveley, and then back to Bath. So that's the plan. So minor change of plan. I changed it to shortest. It's going to add about 10-15 minutes to the trip, but it should cut out a lot of the distance, so I should be able to lose about 9 kilometers over the trip. So this should, I mean, it's possible I can do 106 kilometers on the charge, but it means that my stop at Sainsbury's, the pod point there, should be a lot shorter. So I reckon I'm going to go with this.
So, slight change of plan. I took a wrong turn and ended up going over the Dartford River crossing, the QE2 bridge. Still don't know whether I need to pay for it or not. It was about $5.50 that I went over it, so I think I might have to. Rather annoying. But anyway, we are where we are. I'm now south of the river, so I found another point. It's about the same distance, but it's going to take ages, so I've got about a 2-hour trip to get to this charger near Reading, because essentially I'm going straight through London. But it does mean that my trip is within the current range according to Leaf Spy, so that should be good. Leaf Spy reckons it should be marginal, so if I do need to stop it shouldn't be for long, so that's good. Anyway, right, better head off because it's going to be at least 10 o'clock before I'm even in Reading at this point, so it's going to be a rather late night again. I've been driving for just over 2 hours through basically just south of the Thames in London, and I've got 30 kilometres or about 19 miles left. I'm gone, just being pessimistic as usual. 400 metres, turn right. And 32 to go. What I actually did as well is this destination is actually set back at Ecotricity, so just in case this CYC charger I'm headed to is down, broken, inaccessible, I should still be able to get to the Ecotricity point that I charged at before, and 7 of them on the motorway, so all is well. So we've got low battery charge, press button to check. Well, that was well timed. We've got 14 kilometres to go, GPS. We've got 16 on the gong and 20 on Leaf Spy, so should be good. Here at Wokingham Council's rapid charger, it's the CYC point. It's 25p per kilowatt hour, so it should work out at about £3.75, I think, or around 15 kilowatt hour we can fit into the Leaf in a usual sort of charge session, given that the max is somewhere between 17 and 18 kilowatt hours. Plan is to charge here, head to Membry, charge up at Membry, and then back to Bath. This is the CYC point. Obviously going to be very similar to the Ecotricity points, given it's made by the same company. Let's see how this works then. DC. We're going to need a card. An old charging wallet. Oh, did it beep? Oh, it beeps. Don't think the Ecotricity ones do. It's better already, not even started using it yet. Oh, here we go. I've still got the old connector though. 106 amps, as per usual. So, in fact, it's exactly the same as all the Ecotricity and IKEA chargers. Except it's got all 3 connectors, so very good news for those CCS people like the i3. And of course I'm not limited by time anymore, which is quite nice. On top of the list of good things about this charger, including the fact that it's 25p per kilowatt hour, which is a very good rate compared to Ecotricity, works out about 2/3 of the price. The other good thing is there's free Wi-Fi here, so even better. It's probably time to head off. I thought I'd carry on charging because as it's charging per kilowatt hour, it doesn't matter if I stay here for longer, and I had stuff to do, videos to sort out, so yeah, pretty much fully charged now. That should cut down my time at Membry, and yeah, as I said, heading off to Membry and then back to Bath. So Leaf Spy says we've got 16.2 kilowatt hours in the battery now, so that should be good. Before we go, I thought we might as well play a game. So we got 16.2 kilowatt hours before we head off. I reckon we're going to average 160, so I reckon we're going to get there with about 7.4 kilowatt hours left in the battery. We'll see how close I am. Plugged into the post. He started charging at 10:56, so see how long we can charge for. And I beat my estimate. I thought we were going to be about 7.4 kilowatt hours left. We've got 8.1, so I've done a few quick sums, and I think we're going to have about 14.6 kilowatt hours after 2 hours of charging, which is the limited time you can spend at services. So I reckon, based on our current sort of efficiency, in worst case scenario, it should be about 90 kilometers that I can do by the time I finish charging, and there's only 71 to go, so that, even with a few hills, that should be fine. Time to head off. We've got 14.8 kilowatt hours, so a little more than I was expecting. Home sweet home, 28 hours after leaving, including some rest stops, lots and lots of charging, about 8 charging stops. So yeah, it's approximately 350 miles. We got the gimbal works well, and that was the main point of the trip, but also all the chargers worked that I needed to use anyway, so that was good. We managed to get away with only charging once at a paid one. That was Charge a Car, CYC, in Wokingham Borough Council offices, so that was useful. And yeah, great experience, good journey. Although with Gen 1 and the heater as it is, it certainly uses more power. If you had a later one, then you would be able to use the heater more often, but that's fine. Anyway, so crazy Leaf trip over. I've got the gimbal, so looking forward to using that. Right, time to go to bed. Mental note to self, look at 4 o'clock. The person backing up into me, almost.